Hi guys, welcome back to day 2 of my YouTube channel. Before I begin with our chapter today, I did want to show you that was Pretty Girl. And again, I did want to show you the other 2 books in the Avi series that are that are available. So come on, Prid, you have to get out of the way. That are available. So we have Ragweed and Poppy and Rye, both by Avi and both published by Scholastic. So
and enjoy the video and hit the subscribe button and comment if you like this and see of which books you want to read.
all right, do we get everything?
No, I want Pretty Girl locked in a room.
Stop. She's fine. All right. So again, I am going to be reading chapter 2 of Poppy. This book is published, and I am doing this with permission granted by Scholastic. Can you clear up? Okay.
And I'm doing a great job.
Yes. And Emmy is doing a great job staying quiet, right?
Just laughing.
Yes. She's coloring her JoJo book, I think we have here.
Oh, and we also have a special guest.
Sorry.
We have a special guest.
Yes.
He's Loki.
Like we can move the camera. Loki is over here being amazing, like always. And then we have the opposite, which is Pretty Girl right there. Yep, that's her. So, all right. Yeah, so here we go. Chapter 2.
Of Poppy.
Okay, so chapter 2. Poppy remembers. A stinging sensation on her nose woke Poppy. She touched a paw to the sore spot and winced. Then she looked about in the dark and shook her head with confusion. Where was she? Under a piece of rotten bark. Where was the bark? On Bannock Hill. What was she doing there? She had come with her boyfriend, Ragweed. Where was Ragweed? No sooner did Poppy ask herself that than the full horror of what had occurred rushed upon her. Ragweed's dead! Eaten, probably. Poppy closed her eyes. The sheer ghastliness of the thought made it hard for her to breathe. Then, recalling how close she had come to the same fate, she checked herself for other injuries. Though her plump round belly was white, the rest of her fur was orange-brown. She had large ears and dark, almost round eyes, full whiskers, a tiny nose, pink toes, and tail. Even for a deer mouse, Poppy was rather dainty. Among examination, everything except the nose seemed to be intact. She stole a look out from under the bark and considered her situation. She was on Bannock Hill alone and without permission. Oh, how she wished she were home. From her earliest days, just a few moons ago, her parents had been teaching their litter about Mr. O'Cax. She recalled how they had all lined up, all 12 of them, to take instruction. Mr. O'Cax has been about for ages, her father, Lugwort, lectured in his sternest voice. He was a rather stout fellow with elegantly curled whiskers and slightly protruding front teeth. His crowning glory was an ivory thimble that he had found and which, ever since, he'd worn as a cap. Mr. O'Cax has been here longer than any mouse's living memory, Lugwort continued. The territory around Dimwood belongs to him. Mr. O'Cax is king. And he protects us, said sweet Cicely, Lugwort's wife, and Poppy's mother. That's the most important thing. Sweet Cicely was a small creature, even for a deer mouse, with soft, pale eyes and a nervous habit of flickering at her ears with her paws as if they were dusty. Protects us from what? Poppy remembered Ragweed asking. An outsider. He had been taken to hanging around the family. He was always asking for answers. Why do deer mice live here and not there? Why do you folks eat this and not that? Why is your fur dark on top and white on the bottom when mine is golden? Why couldn't it be the other way around? Though these constant questions could be irritating, Poppy had to admit that she'd often wondered about the answers. Curiosity, however, was not something that her parents encouraged. Poppy admired Ragweed's persistence. Mr. Ocax protects us from creatures that eat us. Lugwort answered gravely. Raccoons, foxes, skunks, weasels, stoats. One by one, he displayed pictures of these animals. Most importantly, he protects us from porcupines, like this one. He held up a lurid portrait of a huge black-nosed beast covered with gruesome spikes. Blood seemed to drip from his snarling mouth. The young mice gasped in dread. Porcupines are our particular enemies, Lungwort insisted. There is nothing porcupines won't do to catch mice. What would they do with us then? Acorn, one of Poppy's sisters, asked in a trembling voice. First, they shoot their barbed quills into you, Lugwort said, and then they trample you, Sweet Cicely added. Finally, Lugwort concluded, they break you into little bits and gobble you up. Now, it was terror the young mice felt, all except for Ragweed. Lugwort, he demanded. Other than that picture, you ever seen a porcupine? Like a real porcupine? Not precisely, Lugwort snapped, but let me tell you something, Ragweed. I'd be more than thrilled to get through my whole life without ever seeing one. After all, Mr. Ocax has seen porcupines, often in private conversations with me, mind. These are actual personal experiences I can verify. He informed me that porcupines are not only extremely dangerous, but also devilishly sly. Take note that this judgment comes from a powerful meat-eating bird. The point is, Mr. Ocax protects us from porcupines. It was he, in fact, who was kind enough to educate us about them as well as supply these pictures. Then how come you have to worry about this dude Ocax too? Ragweed pressed. Struggling to control his temper, Lugwort tapped his thimbled cap down over his forehead. Fuming, he replied, Mr. Ocax protects us from vicious porcupines only when we accept him as our ruler. That's why. All he requires is that we ask his permission whenever we move beyond the immediate area of Grey House. We have freedom to go about the old orchard up to Glitter Creek. We can do the same for Farmer Lamont's fields, at our own risk, of course. Life is full of danger. Go beyond, however, and we need to get Mr. Ocax's permission. What's his reason? Ragweed persevered. Sweet Cicely, brushing her ears, sighed with exasperation. How Poppy, her own daughter, could take up with such an ill-mannered ruffian was beyond her understanding. All the same, she said, Ragweed, as Mr. Ocax has patiently explained to my husband, he needs to know if we're moving about so he won't mistake us for porcupines. Asking permission is a small sacrifice to pay for our safety. Lugwort nodded his agreement. That owl, he pointed out, has incredible vision and hearing. He can hear or see anything, even in the dark, and a good thing too, because porcupines prowl at night, move like lightning, Mr. Ocax says.
I see.
Yep.
Oh.
See?
I see.
Yeah. Shoot quills without asking questions. Kill without mercy. No, my boy, we don't argue with Mr. Ocax. He is our protector. If we disobey him, break his rules, I can't say I blame him either. He gets upset. What'll he do then? Asked Leaf, one of Poppy's brothers. He'll eat you, Lugwort replied briskly as he put away the picture of the porcupine. And he continued, it happens. During the past year, we have lost some 15 family members. It may be presumed that all failed to ask Mr. O'Cax for permission to go somewhere. The children were shocked into silence. Ragweed, however, spoke out again. Hey, Pops, didn't I hear that you say porcupines are huge? You saw the picture, Lugwort responded. And don't call me Pops, it's common. So them porcupines are bigger than us, right?
Yeah.
A lot bigger, Sweet Cicely said, emphasizing the lot. Well, old lady, Ragweed kept on, if them there porcupines are so huge and we're so small, and if this dude owl has such an amazing sight, then how come he might confuse us mice with them there dude porcupines? You know what I'm saying? An indigent Sweet Cicely looked to her husband. Lugwort sputtered. Ragweed, for your information, proper grammatical usage is those porcupines, not them their porcupines. And while I'm thinking about it, if you intend to court my daughter, I'll thank you to groom your hair properly when you get up in the morning. As for that earring that you've taken to wearing, I don't like it. Not one bit. This family is committed to keeping up with mice values and is opposed to stupid questions. With that, Lugwort stalked away, tail whipping about in agitation. On Bannock Hill, Poppy remembered it all. She also remembered it was Ragweed who insisted that they come up the hill, but he absolutely refused to ask Mr. O'Cax's permission to do so. Perhaps then what occurred, horrible as it had been, had served Ragweed right. Then and there, Poppy vowed that she would never, ever leave home again. The difficulty was that at that moment she was far from home, frightened and alone. Lindsay. See the mice? Yeah.
Puppies in my house there.
Yeah. Yep. All right, and there we have chapter 2. Tune back in tomorrow for our reading of chapter 3. Don't forget to, I think Kate called it, like and subscribe. And if you are friends with anybody in our class that I did not share the links with or the information with about the YouTube channel, please, please, please pass it along. Everybody is welcome. Even if they're not in our class, any other second graders are welcome to hop on and join in for the reading of Poppy, because if we were in school, we would be reading this book anyway. Okay? What up? What? Do you want to share?
Read this one.
Do you want to share?
Let's read this one.
I'm not going to read this right now. I can read it later. That's just another one in the series. All right, guys. So have a good night. We will see you tomorrow. And even Loki seemed to enjoy our reading today. Oh, Loki. Here he is. Wait a minute. There he is.
Look, Mommy. Mommy.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Miss you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Look at that pretty girl.
I know. Pretty girls.